Yes, I know the holidays are over, but we're still in winter, at least where I am, and this figure is a winter-based figure, not a holiday figure, even though it's kind of like part of the Christmas specials that run every year. If you're not aware, this is Frosty the Snowman, and he's based off of some TV specials that were made a long time ago, before my time. But years ago, I fell in love with the character. I really enjoy the specials, and I really enjoy everything it is about this character. So, some of you who know me pretty well know that I absolutely do not like reaction action figures. So you might be wondering, why do I have this figure? Maybe some of you aren't wondering because you don't know what this is. Well, this is a reaction figure from Super 7. So they must have the license, I'm assuming, because they've made this figure, and it's the exact likeness of this character. So since snowmen have limited articulation in real life as it is, I decided 5 POA works probably really pretty well in this case. And isn't it awesome looking? I just love the look of this figure. He is so happy. He matches the source material so well. It's just so much fun. In fact, he actually has a soft goods scarf right here. I love his hat, and he's got a removable accessory broom. You can take the broom out of his hand if you want, or you can give it to him and he can go around and just, look snowman-ish. So 5 points of articulation. If you're not aware, I'm sure most of you probably are, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You've got a head that rotates, each arm rotates up and down, and then each leg rotates back and forth. So in this case, he can't actually sit. Some reaction figures actually have the legs come out, but in this case, they just rotate, so he doesn't stand very well. And for those of you who might be wondering how tall this figure actually is, here is a 4-inch Fortnite figure standing next to it, so you can tell he's only probably about 3.75 inches or so tall. That's his height. So it's not even that the head will come up to the hat. So really and truly, if you want to blend him in with any of your 4-inch or 3.75 inch lines, this figure is kind of short. But on the other hand, how often have you ever built a snowman that was like towering above you? So maybe the snowman is actually pretty good on scale. So for the reason of this video and my massively huge disappointment, if you are super or very familiar with Frosty the Snowman as a character, you probably have noticed something at this point. If not, I'm about to clue you. And I'm not here to make a slam video on Super 7. It's just something more I want you to be aware of if you haven't bought this figure. If you think you might buy the figure, I just want you to be aware. So we're going to turn his head sideways. And how familiar are you with Frosty? Well, we'll find out. If you notice, he doesn't have a pipe sticking out of his mouth. Well, that's part of Frosty. He's got this pipe that sticks out of his mouth. Where's the pipe? Well, I'll show you. It's right here. So probably the first day, maybe day and a half of opening this, I shouldn't say owning, I owned it for a few days, but opening this figure, the pipe broke off very quickly, very easily. It just took one bump. I believe that I was moving something, my arm bumped it, and the thing broke off. Well, I tried some special plastic glue. I say special plastic glue because I'm not real clear if there's anything special. I was told it's special. It's not like super glue. So I glued it, took 24 hours to really cure, if that's the correct word, and I glued it right on. And boy, this worked like a charm. It was so perfect. It worked so well. In fact, I went on a road trip, took this figure, and it survived all the way to the end of the road trip because I was paranoid and I was being very, very careful with it. Unfortunately, once again, it got bumped and it broke off. But the cool thing is the glue that I used dried clear. So when I had it hooked on there, it looked really good. I couldn't even tell that something was glued on. So this is what it's supposed to look like. Right there. And kind of you're blocking his nose a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to be trying this one more time. And this time, I'm just going to put Frosty somewhere and I'm not touching this figure probably ever again. Because, yeah, it's really disappointing. And it's mostly, you want to be careful. This is a pretty thin piece. If you can see how thin this piece really is and it sticks out of the mouth, if you bump it, if it drops, this thing might be breaking off on you. So this character or this figure is really awesome. Really, really love the colors. The colors pop. He looks just like the character. However, if you haven't gotten it and you might get it, just be careful. That pipe, it's really unfortunate, but the pipe tends to break off if you bump it. Now I know you might be saying, well, duh, if you bump it, of course it's going to break off. Well, I mean, I've bumped some maybe narrow, smaller pieces that didn't break off. But anyway, this is more of a PSA. Just if you get this figure, please be real careful about the pipe, because you might have a bit of a disappointing day if it breaks off. But anyway, beyond that, I love this figure. I think he is so cool, so much fun. So I'll say happy winter, and I'll see you in the next one.